There comes a time when I really want to punch someone as hard as I can right through my monitor, and this is one of those times. Hello, this is Mara Jade, and I'm back with another video, and Hasbro officially revealed their Lord of the Rings expansion for Magic the Gathering this week, and inevitably backlash ensued, particularly to the blatant disrespect for lore and race swapping of certain characters, so naturally, sites like Kotaku are coming to the defense of what Hasbro is doing by claiming it's because it's including diversity and originality. Magic the Gathering's Lord of the Rings expansion looks to develop a world where more players can see themselves. Never mind the fact, now, excluding The Hobbit, because The Hobbit was published first in 1937, but, when I say excluding that, I mean because this is Lord of the Rings. Those books were published in the mid-50s, so for nearly 70 fucking years, people could see themselves in Middle-earth. People loved the characters. People loved the world. And it's been that way for decades. These books, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, have been translated into nearly every fucking language on Earth. So, there's already been a base of people who could see themselves in this world. And yet, they have to spin this narrative yet fucking again. And this time, they're including not only diversity, but originality. Yes, apparently, blackwashing characters is originality. You know what that tells me? That tells me that companies like Hasbro and Disney and so forth are telling that demographic, you're not worth our time and effort in coming up with any original characters, nor are you worth any effort at all in adapting actual black characters. Because if these people actually bothered to do a little bit of research, if they did not know for sure, they would see that there's actually a litany of black characters in both comics and entertainment that could be adapted. But these companies go out of their way to be as lazy as fucking possible by taking established white characters, basically because they are name recognition, and blackwashing them and saying, here you go, here's your sloppy seconds, you'll be happy because we are telling you this is diversity. That's what's going on, and people allowing these companies to do that? The civil rights movement, what? Was that just a joke at this point? Was that just a joke? But at any rate, let's just dive right into this article so we can get a gauge of the stupidity coming from this author. Alright? This John Walker. This fucking cuckold. Alright? Next month sees the release of Magic the Gathering's Universes Beyond expansion for Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth card game will say creators Wizards of the Coast introduce a diversity to the endlessly reworked franchise that hasn't been seen before. First off, I hate the fact that it's called a franchise. It's an IP. An intellectual property. Stop fucking calling it a franchise, alright? Secondly, this is an IP that has never had to be reworked. Never had to fucking be reworked. Tolkien is the father of modern fantasy. We would not have the likes of George R. R. Martin, I would say, if not for Tolkien, or any other fantasy author working today, if Tolkien hadn't set the foundation when he wrote The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion. Would not see most authors today. So if you want to fucking talk originality, that's Tolkien. Alright? Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth is to be revealed in full on May 30th. This was written back on Monday, so it was already been revealed, and subsequent backlash ensued, as well as ratioing that reveal, and now we got the defense going. We get this from Kotaku, The Gamer, and so forth. The spin is starting. When the mechanics of how the CCG will play are revealed. Now, basically the race swapping of Aragorn per se, there are also other characters that have been race swapped in this deck. Now, that's been known for months. I've actually made a video on it. Other people have made a video on it. So it's not like this has just been revealed right now. This is just basically just the official reveal for the expansion itself. But it's been known the shit that Wizards of the Coast has been trying to pull with this for months now. And not only has it been Aragorn, but they race-swapped Gandalf, Galadriel, and Eowyn, I believe. So, yeah. But ahead of this announcement has come the very welcome news that Wizards of the Coast and Middle-earth Enterprises plan to make the Third Age a far more representative time to live in. a world filled with not only humans, but elves, dwarves, orcs, goblins, urukai, halflings, and so forth. Wasn't fucking representative or diverse enough, apparently. Which is to say, not everyone's white. See, that's the thing. It already was diverse in the species, the actual races. Alright, but because they're looking at skin color, these same fucking people who shout from the rooftops about tolerance and not judging anyone by the color of their skin are literally judging fantasy fucking characters by the color of their skin, and because they're not diverse enough in terms of skin color, then it must be racist, and we need to be more diverse, we need to be more representative. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And if you're feeling the need to start writing a comment about the ethnicity of the Scandinavian nations that inspired, because if this fucker actually did some research, he would see the inspiration that Tolkien drew from, and as sure as hell it wasn't fucking African lore or anything like that. I'm not saying that to disparage any lore outside the European one, but Tolkien wrote these books as a mythology for the United Kingdom. Alright? He took inspiration from European mythologies. Alright? To include Norse. Odin is, when he's walking amongst humans, is typically depicted as wearing a gray cloak with a gray hat and a walking stick. And who does that fucking represent in Middle-earth? Oh, Gandalf. See the inspiration there? See the inspiration there? But again, because they're too white, these are the same people that tell others not to judge based on the color of skin, are literally judging based on the color of skin. Just close the article down now and move on. Your blood pressure is bad enough. Sit on a landmine and spin. Unfortunately for those whose imaginations can somehow cope with magic, walking trees, and actual dragons, but not different melanin content in character skin, there's still plenty of blazing white fantasy out there in which they can take solace. This is the guy who wrote this article. A fucking white savior who's talking about, and I quote, blazing white fantasies. Why is it always white people out there in which they can take solace? But for Lord of the Rings, whatever, I'm not bothering that. Wizards of the Coast are somewhat nervously explaining there's to be an exception. Why should they be nervously explaining? This should be something that Tolkien fans should be eating up. Alright, they should be eating this up. But you've single-handedly, Wizards of the Coast somehow wants to, all the fucking time, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I hope to fucking God that company was bankrupt. And I'm really sad to say that, because I still play D&D, I stop at edition 3.5, but Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons, pretty much, alright? So it kind of pains me to say this, but I really hope that company goes fucking bankrupt. And they're well on their way if they continue this shit. This fresh update was a conscious choice made in partnership between Wizards and me, said Wizards of the Coast statement, and was driven by two guiding principles. They are diversity and originality. Include a third one, bankruptcy. I'm not going to bother reading that. It makes me pretty sad how tentatively the company's post seems to feel it must introduce the idea, and how they almost resort to code words to try to appease an imagined hostile audience. The fact that they were even tentative about it tells me that they know that they are pulling some bullshits, and they're gonna reap what they sow. Because the Tolkien fandom is not one to be fucking messed with. We saw what happened with Rings of Power. Even though that second season is coming out, right? No, like, hardly anyone finished that series. The numbers, the Amazon's will refuse to release the official numbers, right? And fans tore that season, I should say, to shreds. We are not a fandom to mess with. So the fact that this company, which is the Coast, is at all tentative, they know they are fucking up. But they are continuing anyway, because for whatever reason, they just want to lose money. God fucking speed to them. Alright? Some characters may look different from previous depictions, and that's intentional. No fucking shit. It says above the quoted section, the word may there is an odd one, almost as if they're hedging their bets, keeping things just a smidge ambiguous. Will would have been much better, since they will, because since they fucking are. Race swapping Aragorn, Galadriel, Gandalf, Eowyn, and I don't... They're pulling out bullshit with other characters somewhere. You know that, like, if they're willing to do that just with the skin tone of main characters, like what bullshit they would pull with either other characters or the actual Third Age itself. However, with sudden confidence, it then continues to say, our hope is that more people will see themselves reflected in the characters and that players and fans can find immense joy in telling those familiar stories through gameplay. Again, these Lord of the Rings books themselves, alright? Excluding The Hobbit, and I'm only excluding it because this is a focus on the Lord of the Rings, alright? Nearly 70 years since they were published. Adapted in nearly every fucking language on Earth. People have been seeing themselves in Middle-earth for 70 years, nearly 70 years. But now, you're saying now finally they can? Because you made Aragorn black, you made Galadriel black, you made Gandalf black, you made Eowyn black. Now all of a sudden, like, you're telling them that the people you're pandering to, you're going to be happy that we are just taking these white characters and making them black because we are too fucking lazy to come up with any characters original, all right, or adapting actual characters, you know, otherwise. Because they're too lazy. Like, you're not worth our time and effort in doing so. But you're going to accept this because it's diversity, and that's all the effort we're going to put into it. But there it is, alright? Diversity and originality. Two bullshit fucking terms for a world that was already diverse and original. But there it is, folks. So what are your thoughts down in the comments below? What do you think about what Wizards of the Coast is doing with either D&D or Magic the Gathering? Do you still play either one? If so, which one do you play? Do you play both? Do you play neither? Let me know all the fun stuff. Like I said, I stopped at edition 3.5 for D&D. I have never touched Magic the Gathering, nor will I touch Magic the Gathering now, considering what they are doing with a beloved IP that I have enjoyed immensely, despite the fact that you know, I'm not completely represented in that world. Alright? Because people who have been fans, actual fans, can relate to characters beyond the superficial qualities. But God fucking forbid John Walker understands that. But at any rate, let me know all that fun stuff down in the comments below. I'll be live later tonight on Twitch, most likely playing some more Spider-Man, the Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, so tune in for that about 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, share on social media if you will. This is Mara Jade, catch you on the dark side, and... oh, fuck you, Kotaku. That's all I'm going to end with this on. Jesus Christ.